What's up, YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to solve the X cube. Okay, to solve this cube, you should already know how to solve the 5x5, the 3x3x2, and of course, a standard Rubik's Cube. I have scrambled a puzzle. Without further ado, let's get started. This cube is intimidating, so let me break it down into individual pieces. So this would be the center piece, and these 8 pieces surrounding it are also centers. So this would be a center edge, this is a center corner. This is a center corner, this is a center edge, this is a center corner, this is center edge, this is center corner, and this is a center edge. These outer pieces are also technically centers, since they are on the center of the sides that spoke out. As you may have noticed, I classified every single cube on this puzzle as a center. The reason for this is to compare it to a 5x5. I'll get more into this concept later. This is an X cube plus. These 9 cubes represent the center that pokes out. Ignore the extra layer. Okay, let's get started. The first step to solving this cube is to get it back to its original shape. This is very similar to solving a 3x3, only with much less steps. You skip PLL. Okay, so you're going to start with white. You can start with white or yellow. You cannot start with any other color because the other colors stick out. Okay, so as you can see, I already have 2 center edges onto the center. So I'm going to find another center edge. So I found one here. On a 3x3, that's the equivalent of finding one here. And all you have to do is move it up to pair it up. As you may have noticed, you can turn 2 layers at a time at any point on the cube at any time. However, you may not always be able to turn 1 layer, as you can see. Okay, now I'm going to find another center edge. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to turn 2 layers again, twice to put it above where it needs to go, and move it down. It's the same as on a 3x3 again, and it would look like this, where I have this piece here, and it needs to go there. So I'd move it twice this way, and now it's right above where it needs to go, and it's like that. Okay, now on a 3x3, you would solve the corners. It's exactly the same on this X cube. So here is a center corner here, and this needs to be oriented here. So on a Rubik's Cube, what it would look like is this, where this is above its position. So what I would do is I would go right up, and then I would do U2, do that, and that. So if you know how to solve a 3x3, which you should if you're watching this video, you would have your own method of doing this by turning 2 layers. So this part is pretty intuitive. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to go always turning 2 layers. I'm going to insert it just like a 3x3. Okay? So I'm going to do that with all the corners. Now I'm going to put this corner into that position. So just like a 3x3, I'm going to turn this way, pair it up with that edge, and move it down. Okay, so you can figure out how to do the rest of these corners. I encourage you to try to figure it out yourself. It is very intuitive, and it should not be that hard if you know how to solve a 3x3. If this is confusing, comment below, and I will try to post a video explaining it more. Okay, so if you have followed correctly, you will have finished 1 center after finishing all the corners. Now we're going to move on to F2L. So what you're going to find is a edge pair, meaning two pieces that both of them bulge out. So this one bulges, as you can see, and this one does too. Though these corners are the same level as them, this is not, the corners aren't farther than this, so therefore it is bulging out. Because you can compare this to that, and this is protruding. So this is a good edge that you want to use, okay? Now what you're going to do is, just like a 3x3, you're going to put this above the position where it needs to go. So basically what you want to do is restore the entire middle layer to cube shape. So color doesn't matter, but the shape does. And all the pieces in the middle layer need to be bulging out. So ignore the colors, but pay attention to the shape. So this one has a piece not bulging out, so this needs a replacement. So therefore this piece needs to go to the left. So then you will do the 3x3 F2L algorithm to the left, and you should already know this. If you don't, you can check out my 3x3 video. And do this with 2 layers, because 2 layers can always be turned, and 1 layer can't, and you are working with centers at all times. Okay, now I have another good edge with the green, red, blue, and red. And this needs to go to the left again because this piece does not bulge out. So again, I'm going to do the left F2L algorithm with 2 layers. Okay, and there it is. Now you're going to find the final good edge, which is there. These 2 pieces. And that needs to go to the left again. So I'm going to do the left F2L algorithm. Okay, so what you have now, or should have, is 2 layers in the cube shape. The colors are probably, and definitely for that matter, incorrect, but the shape is standard. So now what you're going to do is do OLL. Now what you may see is not always what you'll get on a 3x3. And that is because these colors may not be a possible case on the 3x3. So for example, on a 3x3, if an F2L edge is put in backwards, then you will get an impossible OLL case. So in other words, what you need to do is flip this piece, and OLL will be restored to a normal 3x3. As you can see, I have the same case here if you only look at the yellows. Okay, so the algorithm for this on a 3x3 is, first of all, you do the right F2L algorithm facing the wrong piece onto the right. Okay, now you basically took out that piece, and it's at the back. So then you move it towards the side which the bottom edge color is, and then you move it back, and then you're going to do the right algorithm again. And as you can see, you now have a correct F2L case. So now we're going to apply this to the X cube. So we need to switch this edge pair that we created. So we're going to apply that same algorithm. So I'm going to do the right F2L algorithm. You can pretty much face any side, honestly. But just know that the edge that's to the right will be taken out. Okay, then you're going to do U2 to move it onto the front face. And you're going to do the right algorithm again. Okay, now as you can see, you'll have a correct OLL case. Now, if you know how to solve a 3x3, you will know how to fix this case. So on a 3x3, if I had 2 edges that were next to each other, I would do Fruroff, as people call it, and then I'd do that again. And then I have the cross, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing on the X cube. although I have a shortcut that I do, but you can use whichever way you do it. Again, I'm still doing 2 layers at a time per move. Just keep that in mind. Okay, now I have the cross. Now what you're gonna do is do the reverse soon algorithm or whatever cross OLL case algorithms you use to do on a 3x3. So for example, in this case, I would do RU to R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime. And then I have the whole yellow side. So in this case, I am going to do reverse soon until I solve it, because that is standard beginner's method. Okay, then now I'm going to do it a couple more times. Okay, so you're gonna repeat that algorithm just as you would on a 3x3 or use any OLL 1 look or 2 look that you know. And now you have the entire cube back to shape.